All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market as we look to close out the week. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, drop me a one in the chat. Let me know that you're all ready to go this morning. I appreciate it, Kay. Good morning to you. Thank you very much. All right, so let's make sure that we start out with a very strong foundation, and that is we are always taking massive action, making sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, assuring a balanced approach to trading, and that we trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. Let's imagine our trade successfully materializing, and that we are obeying our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and that we are never ever looking back or stopping once our trade has commenced. So I hope everybody is all set. You're having a great week and you are ready to go this morning. Let's click out and move over to the fundamentals. Front page, right? We've got Q3 GDP growth slightly above estimates in China. So the Chinese economy expanded at 4.6% year over year in Q3 of 2024, compared with forecasts of 4.5 and 4.7, and a 4.7% rise in Q2. It was the slowest growth rate since Q1 of 2023, amid persistent property weakness, shaky domestic demand, and trade frictions with the West. In the first 3 quarters of the year, the economy grew by 4.8%, compared with China's full-year GDP target of around 5%. So, right, they came in slightly above, but above nonetheless, right? And so that's, when you look at other economies around the world, right, it's 4.6% is pretty good, right? There's just high expectations um, for China's economy, right? So you see the target of around 5%. So that's good. We'll continue to see what's going on with the stimulus situation. Um, Tyrone had put in the community for us this article where we have investing.com, buy China consumer stocks, Bank of America tells its clients, right? So we know that one of the ETFs that we look at is the iShares MSCI China ETF, right? Which we'll take a look at it because it's under a different uh, MCHI, I think it is, something like that. That's on our platform and a different symbol for it. But um, this is an ETF, a China ETF, and when you look at the holdings, you can see that it has a lot of consumer discretionary uh, stock within it. So that one's a pretty good one, and it has made a pretty large correction. So we'll take a look at that one and talk about it a little bit more as we move forward. So that was decent. UK retail sales book surprise rise, right? We also got that in the United States, right? Retail sales came in pretty strong yesterday, so we could say the same about the UK. That's good. Japan inflation rate hits 5-month low. And then we see that the China stocks rally, and that, hey man, gold continues to climb, right? 2,700 now, right? I was out at the extension 2,600, and it just continues to push higher, right? And so if we read on that, we can see it reached 2,700 per ounce on Friday, which is a new record high, driven by global demand for safe haven assets and expectations of further interest rate cuts from major central banks, right? So we know that was the theme of the year. That's why we rode it for so long to the upside, and it paid off. So the European Central Bank cut rates for the third time this year, lowering the deposit rate to 3.25% as expected, and stated that the disinflationary process is well on track. Gold also found support from rising tensions in the Middle East following the Israeli military's confirmation on Thursday of Yahweh, I forgot how to pronounce it, Sinwar, a key Hamas leader and top target, was killed in combat, raising fears of regional escalation. Additionally, bullion prices increased as investors shifted away from riskier assets due to underwhelming fiscal measures in China. For the ongoing property crisis and uncertainties surrounding the U.S. presidential election, still strong economic data from the U.S. limited gold's upward momentum by reinforcing the case for a less dovish stance from the Federal Reserve. Right, so the case is still strong for gold to the upside. In regards to yesterday, again, we said core retail sales came in, and retail sales overall month over month came in above forecast for the United States. Unemployment claims came in flat, right at forecast, 241,000. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index came in positive, right? So the forecast is 4.2, came in at 10.3. So that was really, really good. We talked about the UK retail sales, and then we do have today Waller speaking. So not too much on Friday besides what happened this morning in the UK. So that going back to the Japan inflation rate hits a 5-month low. Uh, I am still right fairly bullish on these yen crosses overall, right? And that kind of supports my case. So outside of safe haven situations, right, where we know that yen can strengthen, I definitely see right prices continuing to run to the upside against the Japanese yen. We had a target of 150 on the dollar yen, at least that's what I had on my charts, and we see that it got back to 150. So continuing to look long for the most part against the Japanese yen. Any questions over any of the fundamentals before we continue on?
Nope.
All right, Tyrone. Good morning, sir. I appreciate that article you put in the community
Yeah,
regarding
no.
Bank of America.
Yeah, definitely no worries. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, pretty interesting article. So, and Joy, I appreciate you. Joy is always putting articles in there for us to read, right? Natural gas, everything. You name it, she's on it. So, appreciate the both of you for doing that. So moving over to the DXY, right? Strong retail sales data, right? Still for the most part bullish, right? You can see how we've started to move sideways, right? We're definitely oversold at 100% on our stochastic. So I expect some relief at some point on the dollar, some type of correction, but it is looking fairly bullish. Here we are on the 4 hour as it relates to the DXY. And yeah, price it's looking like it wants to turn over for that correction. But we'll see. We'll see what happens going into next week. We definitely haven't gotten a 382 correction, right, at all. So not sure if it'll make that deep of correction at this point, but it looks like it wants to correct. Maybe they come back to test previous resistance or test the boundary, but we'll see on the dollar index. But the dollar bulls, for the most part, have been out. Any questions on the dollar index? No.
Nope.
All right. Give me 1 second, everybody. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm back. So right out the gate, before I get into what I want to cover Does anybody have any particular pairs, right? It's Friday. Leave the door open for any, pairs that you guys want to take a look at. All right, GJ, take a look at that. Take a look at the pound yen. Okay, well, don't see anything else coming. So we'll take a look at the pound yen first. So we are, for the most part, right? So this is the monthly chart, right? We formed this low, and we are still looking to move bullish, right? Right now, this is still pressing higher, right? Kind of a sideways movement, but hey, if we break out, right? If we get out above this monthly level here, price on there, right? 195.94. We get above that level, and we're gonna look for pullbacks and continuations to the upside, right? So ranging a bit, but it's trying to push higher. I am overall bullish, right? Uh, on these yen crosses, right? So you can see here we've already had it kind of mapped out on the lower chart, trying to wait for it to break out. But you can see on the 4 hour, we've already got a 50% retracement and a double bottom. So we're looking for this to continue to move higher, right? So let's see what happens if we can get a push up and then some type of a correction, pull back to get involved with this long, right? But based on uh, where we are now versus where the extension is at 203.52, we definitely have room to move higher, right? So that's on the 4 hour chart. So that's where we are on the pound yen. Any questions on that? No, you're welcome, right? Joy, you seeing the same thing on that, or you got something different?
Nope, you just confirmed. I missed my opportunity to get back in because I'm at 189, 276. And so I missed my opportunity when on that pullback. So I
Yeah.
was wondering whether or not to go ahead and let that break that resistance and then pull back. Or
Okay.
wait for it to come back to the bottom if it does and then take it.
Got it. All right. All right. So yeah, definitely looking for that to continue along, but it has been pushing sideways, right? So looking forward to break out and see if we get that explosive move to the upside. You also wanted to look at gold, so we'll take a look at that. All right, on the chart. Uh, man, so gold is just running, right? And so that was that last pullback there, right? And it's just continuing to pull. That's just a beautiful break and retest. This is a daily chart, right? So if you're planning on swing highs and swing lows on your charts on the daily, that's a beautiful move there, right? So we've got a swing low, we've got a swing low, and then we've got to run to the upside. Right? Then we've got to move to the upside. So we look for pretty much, right? Can we get another retest, right? Past resistance becoming future support, and then a continuation, right? The case is there for gold to continue long. Let me get the fib running on this. Okay. So we're just continuing to push, right? Push up into that 118, 127 zone. But it is looking mighty bullish, right? So a retest of that B boundary and then a continuation on gold. Right? So drop down to your lower time frames, run your fibs, look for pullbacks. Right? So look to see if you can catch pullbacks and then look for another run up on gold. Okay. because of the market conditions, right? That we talked about just a little bit earlier when we were covering the fundamentals. So all set there. Any questions on gold?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Michelle, you wanted to take a look at the US 30. Roll down to our indices. You're welcome, Joy. And we can see, right? So I've got it going to 44,000, right? And it looks like we are headed there, right? That's my daily chart on gold. On the US 30 running to the upside. I can we could go down to, let's pull this off. We could go down to like a 4-hour chart. Right, so you got a new AB boundary there on your 4. Right, there's that 44,000 level. Right, so we've got to bounce off 236 there. Go down to the 1. See if we could catch a smaller fib to the upside. Right. Kind of similar position, right? Where we're just running hot to the upside. Okay, so headed towards 44,000. Okay, on the US 30. Michelle, you have any questions on that?
No, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Tyrone, you wanted to take a look at TSM, right? That's Taiwan Semiconductor, if I'm correct. Right.
Yes.
All right. So I trade that within SMH, so that's cool because we can mark up a chart. Do a fresh chart, a Taiwan Semiconductor, all right? Because that was a big popping guy yesterday. Tyrone, have you had the chance to read up on that, on why that occurred? I haven't had a chance to read why that happened yesterday with them.
Oh, so so basically the the AI space after the meeting, the whole thing of
Oh,
course the next meeting, Taiwan basically has been getting a lot of invoices in regards to making processors and things like that for these chip companies, Nvidia, AMD, Intel, microchips, a few other guys. So there's been a big demand because of the AI space. So that's why I assume so that's jumped up so much.
man, it took off, man. So we're looking for that to move up. So I'm banking on this because I've got that SMH play that I'm trading, which is the semiconductor ETF.
Oh,
So I need both of them, Nvidia, Taiwan Semiconductor. I need them to lead the way on that. So let's take a look and see where we are on this chart. So this is long, so we'll put a low somewhere down here. Crazy the move that this is making. So we really don't have a high because it just took out the most recent, right? So you're looking at all-time highs on that. So let's put our support resistance in. We don't have a resistance yet, of course. We'll put our monthly low in there, which that was a beautiful check back. It took off in a hurry, but look at that, everybody, right? How the market has it been had checked right back to that resistance level, and then it just took off. Right? Took off to the upside. Here's our weekly chart. So that's near the extension there, 212, 212.76. 212.76. There, they level. Down to our daily. It's right there. So our daily levels in. I'm gonna add this one here, just in case we come back and test that. So this just ran into, right, so we've got an H6 pullback there, so you no longer see this fib highlighted on the daily chart, because we just ran into an extension at that H6 level, then it's an overrun here, right? And now this is this weekly level. And so this has been an amazing run after this correction, right? So we got an A6 retracement, shot right up to that 118 extension, went beyond it. All right, now we're starting to get a reaction at this weekly extension, right? So we're hitting some highs here, but what we want to look for is just pullbacks, really pullbacks and continuations on this move. We'll come down and run this off the floor. Yeah, so we hit an extension. So we're daily, we hit an extension. 4 hour, we've got an extension hit, right? And then we're approaching well, pretty much we're right. We pretty much hit that. I don't think that weekly deactivated because it hit so quick. 212. Oh no, so 212.60 was the high. So it didn't it actually didn't hit. So got close. But you can see how we're getting this reaction. So do we come back? Right? We got a gap here on the daily. Do we come back to retest this 193.33 level? But it is definitely bullish for sure. Let me so we know we've got extensions hit. Go back up to the daily. to so we're definitely right. We're overbought. We're moving back down, so we need a correction and a continuation. So it's been a huge run. I wish I would have been a part of that run on just this individual stock. Like I said, trading the ETF, but this was a lights out move here off the low. So that's where we are, my man. All right, need to wait to see if we can get a discount on that now.
Yeah, I was looking at it myself yesterday. It popped up. Semiconductor TSM hit all-time records due to, demanding of companies for AI chips, and I thought this will be actually a good group. I mean, a good one for the group. So I mentioned it to the guys. I looked at it and I thought, you know what, this has moved. This has
Yeah,
moved.
yeah. It's a huge one, but I think especially when we look towards we're in October now, moving towards the end of the year. Man, I think these companies, Nvidia, TS, I think they've got that market cornered. So I see nothing but upside,
Oh yeah, 100%.
potential for them, moving well into the future. So I'm definitely a believer. Yeah, it dropped around some sevens for sure
Yeah, and
in
I
the
was
chat.
also
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man. I was also gonna say that I can officially say AI is officially here to stay. So
Yep.
this is gonna be hitting some nice new prices next year.
Yeah, I think so too, man. So, again, like we were talking about yesterday, as far as like building out our portfolio, uh, just now, just waiting. We've got some things mapped out. Now it's just waiting on the sweet spot, waiting on those discounts to grab a hold of them, and that requires patience, but it'll pay huge dividends if you wait. And then just for your own like individual, like your personal, if you're buying stock, you've got your own thing going, long term investing like that tech space, right? We know we can get hit. It's a bit more volatile. At least it has been early on with some of the corrections and price swings. But it, like you said, it's here to stay and it's the future. So I'm with you on that going into next year for sure. Appreciate it. Any questions on this one? I mean, these chips, they're in everything, everything that we use, right? So it's a must have, you know. Uh, yeah. So that's that on TSM. Any other US 30? That was it. That was all we had. Okay. So let's go through and just take a look at the there was consumer stock, right? So you guys remember a little while ago we had marked up the McDonald's one, right? Look at that. I don't know if any of you actually traded that, but yeah, it it did its thing. I can never get my chart to load right, but there we go. But we had drew that trend line here. Look at that pullback and look what it did, right? So now we've got a new AB boundary on McDonald's. So, you know, the next time you go through a McDonald's drive-through, think about that. But that was a beautiful play that we were looking at, right? We're seeing how it was a bit range bound, but look at the deep corrections on it, right? And the deep discounts on price. And now look at what it did, right? So that target was 307 and it nailed it, right? It nailed it. So yeah. So these are some of the uh consumer type stocks that we're looking at. Here's Amazon, right, on the daily chart. Okay, we can see where it's retested that B boundary. It's kind of holding up there, moving sideways. And then this is Home Depot, right? Continuing to run, right? We haven't gotten a decent correction on that yet. Kind of waiting on that. Hopefully, maybe we can get it here. This is the 4 hour chart. Maybe we can get a decent pullback on our 4 hour chart and look to buy, right? HD, which is Home Depot, right? Get into trading that. So, and Tesla, right, continues to bounce around, man. It's the corrections on this thing have been enormous. So it did not hold here, right? It just continued to move down. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. But there's gonna continue to be upside, right? So we see what type of let me rerun this now. I think it was it marketing up right before? There we go. So just continue to look for oh, I see why I did that, right? That hasn't so this was wrong. This is set up. So I have that. So it has to stay like this. Okay. So man, continue to look for low prices, right? We're back in the buy zone. We're just moving sideways on Tesla right now. But hey, we get back above 223, we might find some buyers to come in on Tesla, right? Something with the New York auto taxi and truck call. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like they got so many moving parts right now, man. I mean, they're in space, cyber trucks, taxis. They're doing a little bit of everything, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But I think it'll eventually make that U-turn. Right? You got a lot of people believing in Tesla. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so that's Tesla. Move in, do a check on our indices. Right, so we already took a look at the US 30. We'll come in. We are pretty much moving in on the D extension, right? I put that mark at 5,900 even. Nice round number, but that's just before that D extension. So we'll look to see this morning when the market opens if it wants to continue to rally and push to hit 5,900. If not, maybe we get to see that next week on the S&P. But that's been a beautiful, beautiful run, right? On the S&P. Kind of looks like that TSM play, right? And that run that is made. So yep, that's where we are at getting closing in on 5,900, right? 40 points away. Any questions on the S&P?
No.
All right. So moving on down, right? Take a look at the NASDAQ, right? Just pushing a bit sideways, right? We're in that 118, 127 zone right now, right? So it's getting a little shaky, right? Moving to the side, kind of consolidating, ranging. But we'll see if it wants to continue, right? Things have been pretty much on the tear. Just know we haven't gotten a deep correction yet, but we did break trend line, right? So uh, we'll see. We'll see what happens on that. This is the 4-hour chart. Let me look at the commodities daily. On this NASDAQ, right? So there's the move, right? So on your daily, we've gotten that deep 61.8 pullback, and there's that 21,618 level, which is the daily target. Right? So we'll see if it moves sideways and continues to break out. So we may not see that deep correction on the lower time frame if the market continues to rally. We're moving down, right? We're in our sell zone, moving down on our stochastic, but you can see the market is just moving sideways as a result. So that tells me, right, we don't have a lot of strong selling going on right now because the market's just pushing sideways. So we'll see if that breaks out to the upside. The Russell 2000, right? We called this one a long time ago. It is slowly creeping towards its target, right? So I don't know if anybody's trading that, but that is still looking bullish. We're looking at that 24.19 target on the Russell, right? Small caps. So looking pretty good, right? That was some weeks ago now, right? That we talked about that Russell getting long, and it staggered for a bit, but you can see how it's now continuing to break out. So that's the daily chart. Let's see if it continues to make its run, right? If we take a look on the 4, see if there's any smaller plays that could get us involved on this move. There's that break, sideways. So no, we don't have a deep correction, at least yet there on the Russell 2000. So no clean opportunities just yet, right, on that Russell. So this back up to the daily chart. And you can see where we may get that correction soon, as we're definitely overbought, right? We're at pretty high price. We're at 97% on our stochastic. Maybe we see some relief in a pullback, maybe to retest previous high here, and then maybe we can jump on it if it gives us the opportunity, right? Just continuing to be patient. These are big moves, right? Big moves. Any questions on the Russell? No. All right, we're gonna take a look at this German 30. So we've been spot on with this one. This is headed towards that 19,966 level. We are almost there, right? We had another opportunity off the retest, right? And it has completely made that U-turn and is moving higher. This is the daily chart, right? These markets are amazing, right? But they are pattern driven. I hope everybody sees that. There's one thing that you learn in the Forex trade room is that this market is pattern driven, right? And it follows the Fibonacci sequence, right? Keep that moving up. So we are almost there, right? So kudos to anybody that may be holding that position. Great work. Great work. And then we can take a look at this this SMH play where we're now retesting this level, right? This is the semiconductor ETF. We're testing that's doing a lot of bouncing back and forth, but I do look for that to continue to high. I don't know how deep that correction is going to be if it holds at this level, but I am definitely looking to stay bullish in regards to semiconductors. Any questions there? No. All right. So with the Mideast situation, we looked at gold, but we didn't take a look at oil, right? And it's just moving. It's not giving us a whole lot, right? It's just moving sideways, right? So that's actually structured to the downside, right? Kind of where is our 4-hour chart? Let me move up to the. Let me pull this out now because we didn't hold. We didn't hold there. Daily, right? So we're just kind of right moving bearish, right? In this latest leg, right? So lower high, lower low, right? Maybe we come down and test 67.59. That's a monthly level again, but our stochastic, right, is back into the buy zone, right? That's a daily look at oil. Right, so I'm not doing anything with it right now. But we'll continue to watch. Okay, so taking a look at silver. Right, it's taking a while, but we are moving closer. Right, we've gotten another U-turn off this daily. Right, so if you're trading those swing highs and swing lows off the daily, right, you can see here where we've gotten that low, and we continue to move higher to the upside there. Okay, so but we do have another level of resistance right before that coming in right there. Okay, so but still moving towards that $34 per troy ounce, right? That's just before I marked that because we've got a weekly resistance level there right before the extension. So if you're trading silver to the upside, to me that's a good area to maybe get out, take a breather, right? But stochastic is in the buy zone, right? We've got some good alignment there, and we are on the upswing, right? So waiting for that crown to finish playing out. Any questions on silver? All right. And then this is just the gold ETF GDX, right? Moving long, right? Continuing to move, right? Gold's at 2,700. And so this is just moving right along with it. Okay, so if you're trading that, look to stay bullish, right? We are closing in on an extension. This is a daily chart at 42.72. So all types of good stuff to trade. And so we can move over and take a look at our Spider ETS, right? So we can see that we ended up a bit down as we closed out yesterday. So if we go over and we take a look at let's look at our main workspace. Okay. And we can see here where the financial sector, right? This is one that we had talked about, right? Exploded. Just completely made a really strong run up to the upside. And so we're right in this 118, 127 zone now. So I wouldn't be buying, right? I need some type of correction, some type of retest, right? So this is the daily chart for the financial sector, right? So we got pretty good earnings coming out when they reported for some of the major players. And so you can see that price took off as a result. Okay. Fundamentals and technicals, right? Here's our energy sector ETF. Right, we've got a decent pullback here on the daily chart. We just missed that D extension, right? So energy is definitely something that I see continuing moving to the upside. We're retesting this beat boundary, so we want to keep an eye on this one because this, especially if we get that deep swing on that stochastic, and we're still, around this zone, then at the close of today, right, we'll have an official swing low, like so. Pretty much reconfirming that beat boundary. And so it may be time to look for that to continue on. All right. So that's our energy sector ETF. Utilities, right? Checking back, right? We've gotten back below that 82.06, but we are in the buy zone. So we're going to look for this to continue long. Okay. Let me add a fib to this to see how we're measuring out. Okay. Right. So we are in the 118, 127 zone, right? So I don't know, right? We need let's see how far we check back on this one. But this here is double top type scenario. Rejected. We're in the buy zone though. This one may continue to run up. So we'll see what happens with this one. This one's in a pretty peculiar situation right right? Key level 8206, and we're in the 8020 zone, right? So I am going to, if anybody, as far as this utility sector, right? You catch any news, right? I know we can have seasonality playing into this, but post it in the community if you find anything on this one, because I'm quite interested to see uh, what's gonna happen on utilities. Yeah. So let's see what happens here, right? Because that's in a tricky spot considering where the daily stochastic was. So we will see on that one. Not ready to make a call on that one. Moving down, right? Here's our tech sector, right? ETF continuing to make his move, make his run. This is on the daily, right? So overall, just stand bullish, right? Stand bullish, looking to come in at that 245 level. That's that 127 extension, right? Because we got a 786 pullback. All right. Any questions on this tech sector ETF? No. All right. So we can see here that we run into an extension, right? Look at these industrials, right? So right there, right, we 0.29%. We were negative yesterday to close out, but we just recently hit a 4-hour extension there. Right. So that's been a beautiful run, right? We came in right at the edge of that 50% zone. Look straight across here, everybody. All right. This one really mapped out well. Past resistance becoming future support. Right? It's a beautiful play. Beautiful, beautiful play, right? That's textbook. Really respected that level. Now we move to the upside. All right. So that's that. Moving down, right? Looking at this XLY. Okay, we're still hovering, right? So respected this level, but I'm wondering if it's gonna hold or come down to retest and move lower, right? So nothing doing here yet. It gave us a good bounce. I wonder if it's going to sustain itself, right? That's your consumer discretionary. Retail sales came in pretty good, right? For the United States. I wonder if this one's gonna push lower. If it does, that'll be great because it'll give us a chance for a deeper discount. But this one, I did not buy this off that level, just marked it up. So we'll see what happens there. Right. Any questions on anything that we covered today? Anything else that you all want to take a look at before we close out? No?
Oh yeah, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Can you please, if you don't mind, show how you save your charts and like have the view like you have?
Oh, so my workspace because of the package that I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's I've got so here I've got more layouts. See
Oh,
that? Yeah. So it depends. So it depends. Like I've had this. I've been with this a lot. Mine is paid off. Like I don't even pay on it anymore
okay.
because I've been with them for years, for years. So this is so it your plan is what determines how many chart layouts you
Oh, okay.
So
I think I can't because it'll allow me to save, but I'm not seeing anything. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Oh,
so yeah, so now like these I'm working on within the same workspace. So you can see how
okay.
like with these ETFs, I am working within the same workspace. So I go between my time frames within the same workspace.
Oh, okay. When you
Right.
save it, where do you go like to save that?
Mine it just saves.
Oh, yours automatic. Oh,
Yeah, it's just saving. Whereas
oh,
so now,
wow. Okay.
yeah, so these are different ETFs and I'm working within the same workspace. Whereas like I could take something like uh my Aussie CAD and just for this one currency, I've got the weekly, daily,
Okay.
uh 4 hour and 1 hour all in the same work. See, I've got this one broken down. So it's not I'm not working within the
Oh,
same chart, my different time frame.
oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Oh,
just
okay.
yeah, so it's just automatically set up this way,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The way I have it set up. Mhm.
Okay.
So
Thank
yeah, I
you.
don't yeah, yep. So I don't manually have to save them or anything. It's automatically saving them.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
All righty.
Yep, you have a good one. All right. So this is that Aussie cat by the way that posted, right? We got a double bottom there. So that's trying to push out of the zone, right? So I look for that. I'm staying bullish on the Aussie. All right. So that's that. Any other questions before we close out? Ryan, my bad. I was rocking and rolling, man. I didn't look at the participants. I'm sorry.
I'm good, bro. You in your zone, man.
What, anything before we close out?
um, Michelle, I will reach out to you. That was Michelle asking the question about the charts, right?
Hmm.
Yes, correct.
Because it's not just Benny's uh subscription. All of the subscriptions the chart saves, so it's more about how you have it set up. Um,
Okay.
so if you have it set up, then they'll automatically save as you do your work. So I'll reach out to you in the
Okay.
I'll reach out to you
And
and
okay.
set up a few minutes for me to take a look at your setup and
Yes.
then be able to walk you through what might need to be changed.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
Um, hey, no doubt. Other than that, man, no, great session, bro.
All right. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your Friday as we head to the weekend. I'll see everybody 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual on Saturday morning. Have a good one, everybody.